right. Well, let's see here. I think I see the little wheels spinning on
Oh man, that's
the
great.
wheels. The wheels are turning on YouTube. And let's see. And do I see my happy smiling face? I do. I do see my happy smiling face. So we are live, gentlemen, here at the Battle of Lobositz. This is
Whoa.
the reboot
Whoa.
using new and improved scenario rules.
That's
And
right.
I can say it's improved because we're playing the Austrian side and we got hosed last time. So, so the fact that we aren't already wiped out in the first turn is
That's
definitely
right.
an improvement.
It really can't be worse,
Yeah,
is basically what we're
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could
Well,
be. You could have it where the Prussians start in Lobositz.
no, but that's not even a game at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And it's not history either. So
It's not
forget it.
history either. The special matter transporters that they had captured,
That's right. That's right.
in their first Silesian war there.
I think that Frederick would have been better at siege combat if he'd had transporters. I really do think so.
Well, he did surprise people at how quickly he was able to move his army from one spot to the next. So
Well, yeah,
it
okay.
could have been that there were matter transporters involved. And
It was a kind of an 18th century surprise, though. It wasn't really like, I don't think anybody in our modern day would be terrifically impressed.
no, probably not. And,
No, I don't think
and
so.
that was Napoleon's secret to success there in his
That's right.
various campaigns, particularly, the stuff in Italy, his Marengo campaign going up over the Alps, and then in his stuff with Austerlitz, all of those things were sort of, and the surrender of the Austrians at Ulm. That was a complete, win by maneuver kind of a thing. So you got to give credit where credit's due. That's when the armies were small enough that you can manage all of that stuff. So, all right. Well, gentlemen, are we still here?
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
Yeah, I just came back. I'm not sure what happened, but I had something pop up and tell me I didn't have any internet. And I said, and more importantly, I can't hear Eric.
Ah.
Oh, more importantly, well,
Absolutely.
I will have to speak louder, or
Would you?
get that tin can with the piece of string that we have running from California to Dallas. Just get
Ooh.
that a little more taut. It might have just
Yeah,
gotten a little slack
yeah,
in
it might have
it.
just it might have been a breeze. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Well, it's when you hear me yelling into the microphone, "Mary had a little lamb," then you'll know that we are testing some very high tech stuff there.
Very nice. Well done. Nice reference.
Yep.
Oh
Well, and
boy.
I know I
All
can get
right.
away with those references with you guys.
Oh sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bunch of reprobates
I
like we
tell
are.
you, yeah. I made a reference
Oh.
earlier today at Easter, at the callback to Battlestar Galactica. No one got it. I'm just like, okay,
Oh.
wrong crowd here. So
Philistines.
I tell you, so have to force them to watch the show. Should make my
Indeed.
children do that. I think they would enjoy it. They like Doctor Who and Star Trek, so Battlestar
So
Galactica.
they should know better.
They should. They should.
Yeah, should.
I feel bad as a parent that I didn't force them to watch it earlier than this. So
Yes. It doesn't speak well for you.
it does not. It does not. All right.
So
Well,
we
anything
had
new, or I think we're on to a
yeah,
new turn, right?
we I think we are on to the what is it,
It's the
920, is it?
920 turn by
It's
my
so hard to read
calculations.
these old school game turn tracks, but yeah, yeah, it's
And we got
920 and
no pluses because the new improved thing doesn't have that. We
no
just
pluses due to the fog, you mean?
Yep, yep.
Right. Yeah.
And our number
Right.
is 8, and I think the Austrians have, what was it, a +3?
I think it's +3 until he clears the vineyard,
Okay.
or like overwhelms the
Yes,
vineyard,
overwhelms
or
the vineyard.
overawes the vineyard.
Yes. Well, that has not happened
Shock and
yet.
awe. If you had an A10 Warthog, I bet you could clear the vineyard. I think is what I'm trying to say.
I think you could.
Where's
Mhm.
my
So,
where's my counter for that?
well,
Of course. Let's be clear. It would clear it of your troops too. Let's be honest. It's like the minute you see that thing up there, you're like, I'm out.
Well, David,
Eddie.
you know how to edit a Vassal module, don't you? I'm surprised you haven't added that
Yeah,
counter yet.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. Oh boy,
right.
it's going to be ranged combat too, because those things can throw things down range. It'll be a
Well,
good
we
time.
always had fun initially when we were playing, and you had the what was it, the little line of sight marker line thing that most of the time it shows up
Yeah.
in red. And so we were joking that that was the, Star Trek Enterprise was up there with a
Oh
phaser.
yeah,
Yeah, we're calling down
totally.
phaser and photon torpedoes on our enemy. But
That's it. That makes
yep,
sense. What is the deal with? Oh, okay. I don't know
yeah,
why
but
the
this one's
buttons are
not red.
weird.
This is black.
Nah,
It's not
I
nearly as
haven't
much
actually
fun.
said.
The red ones are
All right.
even more exciting. They look like a real.
Absolutely.
The black ones just look like a cannonball
I
bouncing
just am
along.
saying. Yeah, I mean, what you want is a
Yeah,
red hot cannonball.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Heated shot. Heated shot.
All right. So +3 for the good guys is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let's get this show
All
on the
right.
road.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and hit it? Hit it.
Oh, it's a
Where's
special
the-
something already. And that is a
I
special
love it.
Prussian thing. A
Nice.
0-4 for the Prussians. Aggressive
That's-
leader. One Prussian command may advance to combat.
Ooh.
Initiative required.
All right.
What
That's
does that mean in
one.
English?
Good question.
Je ne sais pas.
I guess
Aggressive leader. Wow, here I am thinking that I had turned on the lights, and I clearly did not turn them on well enough for an old guy. Frederick Quinn said aggressive leader. Oh, hold on. Each player rolls a die. The player with the high roll and the Prussian player wins ties picks a Prussian command that 1. Has less than half of its units in the Lobosberg vineyard. 2. Has not yet been activated. That would be all of them. 3. At least one of its units has line of sight to any Austrian command that has units south of the Lobosberg vineyard. Point 3 is necessary to make sure a worthy target is chosen for their attention rather than an isolated skirmisher or some other non-entity. It precludes targeting independent units in the vineyard. Step B, the Prussian player rolls for initiative for the command leader, subtracting 1 from the die roll if it's a cavalry command, adding 1 if it's an infantry command. If the leader passes, command is activated and the Prussian player must advance on any Austrian command to which it has LOS with the goal of engaging them in close combat. If there is no eligible Prussian commands, or if the leader fails the initiative, there is no penalty, no special result. For the command chosen, in every activation, at least one of the units must use all available movement points, and at the Prussian player's discretion, units may rapid march. This point allows units to form up as units for a proper attack instead of an uncoordinated jumble of units. It also allows him to hasten process by rapid marching if he wants to get it over with. If the command does not contact the enemy in its special result activation, it will be the first activation of the next turn and any following turns, no initiative roll necessary, and will continue its advance in the same manner. This point is necessary in case the chosen Austrian command is more than 1 turn's move away. This is a special event that can carry over from turn to turn.
Wow.
God.
This is so... this is wild.
Well, and I think this must be, they're trying to simulate what happened with the Prussian cavalry, where it charged and then it kept pursuing way, way, way deep, and then was getting just shot to crap by the Austrian
Yes,
artillery and skirmishers and everything else before it finally, yeah.
And it's almost like something kind of like this is needed at Zorndorf, because one of the things that really got the Prussians in trouble in the early going of the battle is one of the infantry lines got lost. It drifted way far to the right of where they'd intended to go
Right.
because of dust and
Right. Yeah.
confusion
Yeah.
and stuff. And I thought, well, gosh, there's no way any of the special events would ever cause that to happen. It's like, how could something so central to the game not like be reflected somehow in a special event? Okay.
Right.
Wow. So there's quite a bit to this one. So E, if the initially chosen Austrian command moves out of LOS, the Prussian player may opt to switch targets. Prussians are not limited to attacking only the units of a single command. This point is necessary to keep the Austrians honest. It is the Prussians, after all, that have the initiative, and if a better target presents itself, they can give the orders to go after them. Understand the spirit of the event. They are attacking a body of Austrians, therefore their attack on the target command may spill over to attacking other units. Step E, independent units and attached units may be activated along with the command per normal rules. Units of the command that are out of command leader's command range do not join in the move and attack. They are left behind. F, this event is a normal activation subject to end turn rules.
There's 2 E's.
Oh, that's funny. There are 2 E's. That is funny. G, the event comes to an end when every combat unit within the chosen command has made a pre-melee close or pre-close combat morale check. This point is necessary to make sure that all the chosen units are engaged rather than just having one isolated unit attack. Fascinating.
Wow.
So this should be played in the spirit it's intended to recreate. A Prussian command has decided to fight the Austrians, and they will go forward to attack the nearest large body of troops. Altogether, the various checks should assure the Prussians make the best concerted effort at a quality attack. Okay, all right. So step 1, or step A, I guess I should say, is each of us rolls a die, and
we
and
see
the
who
Prussians win a
wins,
tie.
right? Yeah. And then,
I guess I'll go ahead and roll the dice again, and we'll just see what we get.
so David rolled a 9.
He's rolling a 9.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you
fine.
go ahead
All
and
right,
roll.
all right.
Okay. So
All
the
right, so I'm
Prussians
rolling a
won.
2. So it's a Prussian's choice. So the Prussian gets to pick a command that has less than half of its units in the Lobosberg Vineyard, which has not been activated, and has at least one of its units as LOS to any Austrian command that has units south of the Lobosberg Vineyard. Now, now one thing we need to be a little bit careful about here. What's our fog level right now?
We are at fog level
believe 3.
3.
Okay, so certainly all that infantry in the middle is down below the fog.
Yes.
Trying to find the fog line there. That's...
So,
Oh, actually, no. It looks like all of them, the middle is all below 3, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah. Because
Okay.
this is, so this is fog level 2 along this little bit. Fog level 3 down here on the south is this one that goes through Radoswitz. And then the fog level
Right.
3, the other one is up here in the Lobosh.
Right. In the vineyard, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's certainly...
So the only thing he's got that's got a line of sight to an Austrian is either going to be Klein's or Kleist's stuff or the Prince of Braunschweig. So those are the only 2 that have a line of sight. All the other stuff back here, his cavalry is all behind.
It's all too far behind
far
and
back.
wouldn't have line of sight. So that's interesting. Okay.
So he's only got really 2 commands, it looks like, that have a line of sight.
Qualifications? What about... Who are these people? Oh, those are independents.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So you've got a choice.
This is the sort of thing that would be very different at a different time in the game.
Yeah.
But like right now, you're like, okay, not really ready for this yet.
No, but it's kind of cool because
Oh
they're,
no, it's totally
yeah,
cool
yeah,
because it's the kind of chaos that really happens in real battles, right?
yeah.
And kind of an interesting thing to see. Can I get advantage of this, or at least how do I mitigate the potential downside to it? I mean, it could actually be a good thing.
So, so when it says in future turns, then does
Right.
that, do we roll for initiative or just whenever
No,
the Prussians get
no.
the initiative,
What
that
it's
one's got to be the
no,
first one to go?
it doesn't even say that. It says if the command does not make contact with the enemy in its special result activation, it will be the first activation of the next
Oh,
turn
okay.
and any following turns. No initiative roll necessary, and will continue its advance in the same manner.
Wow.
So we don't even have to roll for the first activation because we
Right.
already know what it is.
Cool.
That's nuts. I love it.
That is nuts. That is nuts. I do love it.
Is it the first act?
No, it's the first.
Oh,
So
it'll be the first
yeah.
activation.
So in the
Okay.
940 turn, if you haven't connected with me, then it's going to be
Exactly.
the first thing that you do. And wow, that's a fun one. That's an interesting one.
All right. So
It
the interesting
reminds
thing
me
to
of
remember,
in
though,
Borodino, we're playing Lobositz de Moscow. You get this one where
yeah.
if you roll it, Marat has to move to a cavalry unit and do a charge.
Oh,
And if he
right.
doesn't
Yeah,
do
it
it
is
that
kind of
turn, then
similar.
he's got to do it the next turn, kind of a thing. And
Right.
it has the same kind of idea behind it, where
The-
you're forcing something impetuous to happen.
The only
So-
thing to bear in mind is that because there's a +1 to the die roll for infantry commands, there's really only a 40% chance that the one you choose is actually going to do this.
Oh
'Cause you
yeah,
do have
'cause
to
he
roll
does have to roll
initiative.
for initiative. So if he fails the initiative roll, then we just
Then
disregard
there's
it.
no effect and we keep
Okay.
going.
But does it keep going to the?
No,
then
no,
goes
no, no,
to-
no. Yeah. So if
No,
you
then there's no activation. We just
Yeah.
go on.
yeah, and then it doesn't harm you in any way. It's not like you now can't activate that guy later in the turn. It's
Oh yeah, because it's just a nullity.
Yeah.
Nothing happens at all.
yeah. So it's unlike one of the others where like somebody picks your command, like the command confusion one.
Right.
This isn't this. This is like
right.
either the guy's going to do it or he doesn't, and it has no impact after you fail the die roll for his initiative. But if he passes the initiative roll, then the thing goes into effect until it sounds like your entire command has to come into contact and attack the enemy. So,
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Everybody who's in command now
Mm-hmm.
has to come into contact with the enemy, because anybody who happens to be out of command now just gets left behind.
Right.
Yeah. So that's but I don't think that applies to either one of those guys. I expect everybody's in command there.
Yeah, everybody's in command everywhere. So whatever.
So fascinating.
Uh,
All right.
Wow,
well,
that's
I
really
guess,
cool. That's a really cool special event.
It is.
And I don't recall seeing that in the earlier game.
No,
No, it
it's
wasn't.
I don't believe so. I
Yeah.
think it's new.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely worth it.
It's a hoot. All right, well, pick which one
I
you
don't,
want.
but okay. I will do Kleist, I guess.
Okay.
here.
With such great enthusiasm. You're gonna
With
roll an eight.
great
It's not gonna matter. This has all just been fun on at your expense.
All right. So
All right,
I
roll a
one
die and
I
see what we
guess.
get.
All right.
A 6
All right,
plus
never
1 is going to
mind.
be a 7. What's Kleist?
He's a 4.
He's a
so
4.
you had to
Okay.
roll a 0 through 3. That's
Yeah.
all you're gonna get. So
Oh.
well.
Roll again,
terrifically
Michael.
disappointing. Yeah, I'll roll again. I'll roll a 0-4. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that's not a 0-4.
It's not. But
No,
it is
that's
ours with a
disappointing.
+1. We just barely get the initiative, and it does move the clock.
Yeah.
And it did move
Yeah.
the clock, in spite of the fact that the log file doesn't demonstrate that. But I
do
did. In
I do
fact,
see that
move.
it has in fact moved.
Excellent. Very good.
All right, so
All
this is
right,
one for us.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and we know we don't get too many to choose from, so you really
Yeah.
gotta pick your choices here.
So,
Well, Leech Kleist isn't barreling down on you, so
no, no. So I
you got
I
that
can do
going for
something
you.
exciting with Veed, which I think is what
Yeah,
I will try to do.
I think Veed makes
Yeah.
sense to
And then I
just
will, I'll activate at least this Grenadier here.
okay.
So he can take a shot. I mean, can this guy shoot too, or is he blocked where he's at?
Well, he's half blocked,
He's half
so
blocked. Okay.
only what? I
Well,
guess
he's
two
3,
strength
so
points
2
could
strength
fire.
points. Okay.
But I mean,
Yeah.
they're at 2x range. I mean, I hate to say it because it's gamey and ridiculous, but look and see if it changes the odds because it might
Yeah.
not.
So, well,
So
that
what are
guy
those
is.
grenadiers at 1 hex range?
They
They're
are
probably
times 4, so that's going to
so that's
be
12.
12.
So
And then if I added in
probably
another, I'd add in
what are they?
another
What are they at
4.
2 hex range?
Well,
Oh
the
yeah, well then
Grenzers
it's
are times
one.
2. That's 1.5 to 1.
Yeah. So definitely it'd be worth adding
Okay.
those guys. Yeah,
Okay, I'll do that.
What are the Grenzers at 2?
They're times 2.
at 2 hex range. Yeah,
Yeah, so 2 can fire out.
right.
So
Um,
that
So
okay.
2 times 2 is 4, plus 12 is going to be
Right.
16.
So
16 to
1.5 to
10
1.
is
Right.
1.5 to 1. There are no
Right.
pluses or minuses, so let's
That's
roll
right.
and see what we get. An 89. That's a good roll.
Big shot. There's a hit.
That
That's a hit.
is 1 hit.
I think it's just one. Yeah.
1 hit, no morale check.
You need just a teeny bit more to get 2.
Yeah, it was close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
Well,
mark
no
them
cigar for the dead
as-
Russians, anyway.
Okay, we'll mark those guys as finished. And
Now does that mean you actually also have to activate that one? Because wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Activate them?
Well, yeah, I guess so. If they're part of this guy, so this guy could then take a shot, right?
Well,
Or not.
What does it say about him? It says
Well, the
that
Grenzers
he
are
is
independent units.
Yeah, the Grenzers are independent, and he is a special leader who is used to activate Grenzers. He's activated along with an Austrian command in the same way as non-command leaders are activated. When activated, he can place in command any Grenzer units within his command range, as opposed to them having to put themselves in command, I guess. So certainly the Grenadiers didn't need him,
Right.
and frankly, I don't think they needed him either, because I mean they're still independent units. He's just that he offers an opportunity to put them in command based on his own die roll, I guess, instead of well, and in fact, the way independent units work is he could put them in command, and if he doesn't get himself in command, they could still roll to put themselves in command.
No, they can't.
No?
3.1.d Grenzers. Grenzer units are skirmish-only infantry units. Grenzer units may only be placed in command by the Austrian army leader, Brown, by wing leader, Lacey.
Oh, I see it.
By special leader, Draskowitz.
Or by leader
Or
initiative.
by unit initiative. So he either has to do a new unit initiative, or you have to use Draskowitz.
Okay, so if I use a unit initiative, I can still fire, right? I just can't do.
Hold on. It doesn't say unit initiative.
Yeah, it does. Mine does.
No. It says Draskowitz. This is 32D.2. Draskowitz is in command when his LOC is traced to him from.
No. Look at 3.1D.
3.1D.
Yeah, where it talks just about Grenzers.
Oh, see, I was looking at Draskowitz.
Right. So yeah, so it says Brown by a wing leader, Lacey by special leader Draskowitz, and by unit initiative.
Yeah.
That absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. So okay, cool.
So for them to fire, you either had to do unit initiative or you have to use Drakowitz.
All right. So if I do unit
Yes.
initiative, right? So if they
Then
fail,
they
they
just-
still fire.
They still fire,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it
They're
doesn't
just out
matter
of
what they
command.
do. It's only if I were going to be moving them and doing a
Yes. And so that's
what is it?
yes.
Faster march or whatever it is. That's the only impediment, right?
Well, no, I mean if they don't put themselves in command, they'd be limited to half speed.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not planning on moving them, so it doesn't matter.
Well, all right, so it's
Yeah.
all kind of moot. But
Yeah.
I'm glad we discussed it because it's good to understand because that is a touch weird to have that guy who's kind of a command leader for independent units. It's a little strange.
Yeah. Well, I think the
right,
idea
so-
was that if I activate him, then they don't have to make an independent roll like they would.
Well,
if they were all
right. So
on their
either
own, yeah.
he would have to trace back to Lacey or Brown, or he could roll himself to put himself in command. And if he does that, then all of them are in command without any further die rolling. So,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All
So
right.
I've got a question for you
what
now.
else we
I'm
got?
gonna
All
so
right.
I'm gonna. That was the only firing that I'm going to do.
Okay. Yep.
So if I have, what was the issue or our question about trying to get guns into the village? So if they move into the village, then they couldn't unlimber, or what was it that we talked about? Because there was something.
Something specific from last turn, or what do you
No,
mean?
no, something from like, when we were playing this last time, I was trying to get some of the guns into Lobositz, and you were like, "Oh, it's going to cost, XYZ to move in, and then it's going to cost all of this to turn or to unlimber or whatever." So I was just curious what the.
I mean, I don't think there's anything really mysterious about it. It's just that if it costs you, what is this, village?
Yeah, village.
All right, so it costs you 2 to move into the village,
Right.
and then of course it will cost you 2 to go into
unlimber.
Unlimber. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, basically, that's your whole turn.
Okay.
So you'd probably want to get immediately adjacent to the hex where you want to be, because you're not really going to get to go very far once you move. Yeah, and then after that, you're just down to prolonging.
Okay. All right. That is good to know. All right. So what have I got? Mostly rubbish. I've got these 7-pound howitzers, which are, they kind of go
nearly worthless.
Nearly, almost, but not quite. My 12-pounders are very nice. My 6-pounders are okay. I just need more 12-pounders. That's my problem.
Yep. Yeah, you just need the ones that the Prussians took to Zorndorf.
Well, they haven't captured them yet. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Work on that.
All right. So let's see.
Now, I am a little confused, and I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
These guys aren't in command, are they?
And
if so,
why
how do you
wouldn't
think
they
they're
be?
in command?
So
Well,
isn't this
their command leader?
Yeah. So isn't it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5? So 1, 2, and then this counts as 3, right? 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
Right, because these are the same
First
regiment,
of all,
right?
just shame on me. It didn't even occur to me to look and realize he was a 5. That I was thinking he was a 4 because that's just more normal. He's a 5.
Yeah.
You are quite right. All good.
All right. You had me nervous there for a minute.
No, I was just like, why is V there? That's a weird place for it. Okay, all good.
Oh. So what's the best way to try to defend Lobositz? To have these guys in, it's not in general order, are they? They would be in line in the village, is that correct?
I mean, I would usually think that there's not much reason to do anything other than be in line.
Okay, I was just curious. I know with like some of the games, you're in general order in the village, so in this case, they are in line.
That's not a requirement here, and I don't think it's ever to your advantage to go into general order. Which reminds me, I need to talk to you guys about this battle for Quebec we did. yesterday because oh my gosh, that was like what was it? Somebody described it as a bar on mushrooms. Yeah, that's what it was. It was bar on
1,
mushrooms.
2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's mark them as finished. That is rare that we have bar on mushrooms.
Oh boy, but that was when somebody said that I laughed because it was yep, that's exactly right.
Okay, the guy that is Oh, these are some real winners.
If you wanted good troops, you should have.
I should have
taken
defected
the
to the
Prussians.
Prussians.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
There you go. That would do it. That would do it. All right.
So if you did what is it? Is it 1 to go through a village X with the
if they're in
column?
if they're in March column, it's 1. Yeah.
Okay. And then where's the yeah, really the treatment of villages varies quite a lot in terms of how punitive they are.
Right.
8, 7. Okay. So the one thing to bear in mind is that no, I now I know what your point was from before there, Eric. Let me
Right.
explain. So everything on the terrain effects chart that has an asterisk next to it, you'll see down in the note
Right.
that it talks about it being the kind of terrain that first of all causes morale movement disorder checks. It makes you susceptible to rule 8.7.
Okay.
And 8.7 is a bear. So 8.7 says if a unit makes any of the formation changes marked by an asterisk in sections 8.4 and 8.6, that's a lot of them, and occupies or crosses any hexes or hex sides that are non-clear terrain, that is the only thing it can do in its movement segment. All the movement points that the unit expends will constitute its expired in its entire move. However, movement points are still calculated, including +1 for an EZOC and any extension and contraction costs. And if the cost requires a rapid march, then that modifier is applied to the disorder check, which is made after the formation change. To make a non-clear formation change, a unit cannot have expended any movement points prior to the change, cannot be disordered. So what I said earlier was wrong. I don't think it matters because I don't think you had movement points enough to move another hex.
No, I didn't.
Right.
So
So
yeah,
what it
I
means,
used the
though,
full
is
movement.
you can move into that hex, but you can't unlimber. And the reason you can't unlimber is because in 8.4 and 8.6, and I'm not sure why it's in 2 different sections where it talks about formation changes, any of them that have an asterisk after them would fall under that heading. So not everything falls under that heading, but a lot of things do. Most of the usual ones. And so here I am.
So does that mean then? So like next turn, I could move into the village, but not do anything else.
Or I could move. That's right.
I couldn't change formation.
You could
unlimber, or I'd have to wait until the following turn to unlimber.
Because the artillery formation changes of limbering and unlimbering have an asterisk next to them, which says that if you do that, A, you can't have spent any movement points prior, and B, that's all you can do.
Okay. So it basically would take me 2 more
2
turns to get
turns
them
from now.
unlimbered, right? So
Yeah.
next turn I could move them into the village,
Right.
and then the following turn I
You
could
could-
unlimber them.
You could elect to, move them farther, because obviously your objective is just in the next turn, get them where you want them.
Right.
But then you'd still need another turn to actually limber them. And the reason why this matters is the same thing's about to happen with your infantry. Because the infantry are going to be limited by this as well. Because in 8.4, where we look at, march column to line,
Right.
for example, we're going to find that I'm sure it is included. Yeah, 8.4c, march column to and from line with an asterisk. So again, it's the whole turn, and that's not great. And David really suffered from this at Monmouth when we were in the woods
Right.
in Monmouth, and it was just unbelievable that it would take so much effort.
Yeah.
It seems amazingly punitive, but it is the rule. So what are you going to do?
Okay. Well, that is good to know.
So it's kind of like move the people where you want them,
Right.
and set them up so that they'll be able to then do the switch to line the next turn and be where you want them to be.
So I would get them close and then switch them to the line. Is that what you're suggesting, or
either that, or if you can, just put them in line right away. But you're probably not really in a good place where being in line is necessarily going to help you very much, right?
Right.
So I mean, again, all I'm just telling you is that's something to bear in mind.
Right.
And the reason I came up with it is I was just thinking, okay, let's suppose you wanted to anchor your flank right here.
Right.
Okay, well, this guy could turn, and that's 1, and that's probably costs 2 to go there, I'm guessing.
It cost 1. So
But I'm sorry, but 1, 2, 3, 4, he could turn. 4.5, he could go there. He'd have to rapid march. This other guy could come up behind him as 1/2, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and then he wouldn't need to turn, actually, because he's going to expend all of his movement points no matter what in order to adopt any facing.
Right.
So in that case, he could still be facing the wrong way, doesn't need to rapid march, but the next turn he could adopt a facing and maybe put a hook on or whatever. But anyway, but you couldn't do it this turn because trying to make that formation change in that hex would be an entire turn's effort.
Right.
That's all. That's really where even I was going. Whether that's the right thing to do, I will leave as something for you to figure out. But anyway, I just wanted you to realize that it was going to take a little bit more time.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of curious how all of that worked, given that, well, and in any case, it's going to take me a long time to get everyone kind of turned around, and I kind of figured it's going to take me, 2 or 3 turns to get people in the right spot.
I think you should assume that, yes.
Yeah. So the question is, what's the best way to defend? And I would know how to do this in Lobotai, but I'm not as astute with how to do it here.
You're in the wrong century, pal.
Yeah, I am. I am indeed in the wrong century. Okay. Well, what can we do? Well, let's just start moving some people around and we'll figure it out. Are you going to bring anybody over to help me out, or you're just going to hang back for a while?
Well, I'm with, greatest reluctance to reveal our plans in front of the enemy. But I kind of already told them that really I wasn't planning on moving a lot of guys up there because it's just giving him victory points.
There you go. Okay. All right, then I need to make my defense as frosty as possible.
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I'm wondering, so if I have this guy here and he wants to go into line, and he's in column, and he can go into line facing that way. That's going to be okay. And then he could go 1. So it's 1 to turn, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this guy can go into line. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 gets him there, right?
Yep.
And
That's
then
right.
this guy can go into line. That's 1. And then you're saying going into the village is going
It's
to
probably
cost
2, 3, I would
2.
think.
I think it would cost 2
Well,
in line, right? Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
probably spent 3 at this point.
Yeah, I've spent 3. And
Right.
so if I were to go further, I'd be rapid marching.
That's right.
But if I just stay there, then I don't have to make any checks or anything like that.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
because you haven't.
I haven't done anything terribly exciting yet.
Right.
Good. Then if these guys, they do the same thing, right? And that's 1, and then there's 2, and then there's 3, 4. Gets that guy there, and that guy's there.
Yeah.
Actually, this guy can go. No, he can't. Where was he? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can make it there.
Yes, you
All
can
right.
do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm starting to make some sense. Sense. Okay.
There you go.
Cool. Now these guys, if we turn them 1, 2, it's probably better just to turn them and keep them in march column.
Let me move farther.
So
I
yeah,
guess.
1, 2, 3, and 4 gets them there, and then I can turn them and march them into the village that way. Okay. So there's half. There's 1.5. 2, 3, 4 gets him there.
Right.
All right. Then the other people that are Veed's friends and adjacent colleagues. I think if they were going to try to go from line to column facing that way, they would burn up all of their movement, right? I think it's, so they're facing this way, so they go that way. It's going to cost 4.
Yeah, honestly.
What if they go the other way? Then they'd be facing that way. That's no good. What if they were facing 3? So if they're this way and I face them that way, it says it only costs 3. I think I've got that right.
Probably
true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at it and go.
Yeah, I know. You got to turn your head around.
Yeah. I'm
you
holding up
gotta
the
do your
piece of paper and I'm like, okay, you're here, and then there's 3. Okay.
You got to do your Linda Blair impersonation.
All right. So there's 4. And then this guy is going to do the something similar, right? Into, well, actually, what can he do? Yeah, he's going to go the same way. And he's going to go like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then I can move them around next turn in some shape or form.
Yeah, you've still got flexibility about how you want to move them around at that point.
And then these guys, I think I'm going to do the same thing. Like you just move Veed out of the way. So they are going to do this, and then they're going to go like that. And Veed was there. And then the Grenadiers they're going to turn tail as well, and they're going to move. And
well, now that we know that Kleist is itching to attack, I mean, clearly.
Yes, Kleist is definitely Definitely worrisome. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I got everybody in range. Okay, all right. I think that's the best I can do for the moment. So we will flip V'd over and
Magnificent.
go back to the drawing board, as they say.
All right. Well, believe it or not, here it is. It's it's 10 till 9, and it's time for you to roll the dice.
Here we go. A 23. That did not advance the clock, but it's another one for us.
No, it's another one for the Prussians. Okay.
Yep.
So what
the
else do you Austrians? Whatever.
Yep. One for the
Some
Prussians.
Central Europeans. I don't know.
I'm okay for the moment. I didn't want to bring up Lowenstein's cavalry. I'd want to kind of keep it back, and at some point in time, I'm going to fade back some of the other stuff. So I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere. So if you've got anybody you want to shuffle along,
all good.
I would say go for it.
All good. Okay. Then I will go ahead and do M, whose name is McGuire. A good Austrian name, McGuire.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually reading a Christopher Duffy book called An Instrument of War. It's about the Austrian army and the 7 Years' War.
Oh,
and
interesting.
He's going through all the nationalities. Oh my gosh. Just and he's just talking, well, no, actually that's not true. He's mostly talking about just the different peoples inside the Habsburg realms, but then he's also talking about all the people who were in their army who weren't even from Habsburg realms, probably like a guy named McGuire, come to think of it. It's just crazy how multinational that outfit was. Really weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is well, he can reach Brown directly, so no need to roll. All of his guys are in reach of him, so that looks okay. And so I guess I'll just go ahead and activate. And let's see, we've got infantry here, and it looks like
you've got infantry under the artillery as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to go with them.
We'll put a naval unit in the pond.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a perfectly valid idea. Absolutely.
Austrian Navy.
Yeah, that's going to be, well, I mean, wasn't that guy from The Sound of Music? Wasn't he like an admiral, which I thought was like the weirdest thing imaginable?
He was a captain. He was Captain Von Trapp.
A captain.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is just, it's like, yes, but that.
Left over. Well, the Austrians did have a fleet in the First World War. Yeah.
In the First World War, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know that they did much with it.
I do remember watching one of their battleships turning turtle because it had been hit by an Italian torpedo. Didn't seem to have gone very well. Yeah. Because those guys had to move through two town houses in order to do that, I need to roll disorder checks. I'll just go ahead and start with this guy over here and then the other one.
Ooh,
okay, that's an 09 for the disorder result. So what's 09 going to get me?
Movement. If units printed ER is 36 or higher, re-roll with a +5. Otherwise, re-roll with a -5.
All right, -5 then. Well, he's
going to
disordered with authority.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. I'll go ahead and roll these guns forward, and then we'll move the infantry here. Some more infantry. And that's going to be 1 and 2. And then 3. And then 4. So that's that. And then these guys are going to do some really fancy stuff, and that's their whole movement.
Hopping across the wall.
Yeah, apparently that is no small thing. that wall.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny because in the notes he kind of refers to the fact that we don't really know what that wall was like, other than how people kind of referred to it vaguely, but no details. So anyway, we're just gonna assume that they're right, and it's just hard to get across. So, uh,
It's nice to be
all right,
behind the wall, though. You get,
yeah,
yeah. What does
yeah,
OT stand for? What does OT for?
other terrain.
Other terrain. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just whatever else is in the hex then. Okay, then I guess we need to move this fella. Well, I don't know. I'll probably just move him right there and call it a day.
There you go.
And these guys are marked as finito. And that was it. But really, what more could you want?
That's it. My life is happy. It's David. It's your turn to
Mhm.
roll the dice.
Oh, my turn.
And David gets a
Oh.
victory point.
David does get a victory point. We
I
moved
mean, you
people
gotta be happy
over
about
the.
that, David.
We moved
What did
them
I get a
into
victory for?
Solowitz.
Because those guys moved into Solovitz.
Yeah, they started south of the border down in Mexico.
Yeah, they started on the south map and
Yep.
they made their way up, and now they're in Solovitz. And so it's a moral victory for the king
Yep.
that the Austrians felt the need to come up and occupy that town.
Yep.
You got to feel good.
Really? I get one for that? I don't
Yeah,
remember
you do.
that as being.
Trust me.
Oh, no. Actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. I take that. Well, oh, God. Now I got to read it again. There was. It may not have been that. I take it back. I may be misremembering, because it may be what it is just that simultaneous control
Oh,
of
it is.
Solovitz and Lobositz and the vineyard is enough for an automatic victory. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
but
that's what
I
it was.
do get +1 for each Austrian command from the south map or off map that enters, and the second one that enters is Solowitz.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you do get a victory point.
Yeah, no, I seem to recall that was the case.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the real reason for being there is to prevent you getting the automatic victory by letting you have it. I'd much rather give you a victory point and then make you fight for it.
All right. Well, you have you even have a wing, because your wing level is 9, and you rolled a 9-1, so you actually get a wing. You can do a wing, David.
Oh, that's
I
right.
get a
That's
wing.
right. Didn't you get a wing last turn?
He did.
did
After all
that
your
for
after all
sure.
your
And
worry about
he was complaining that life wasn't fair, that no one loved him. Tell
Yeah.
you, and then here the dice come up with something. This is why people question the
Yeah, but this
vassal.
also moved the turn track.
So it does. Very good. Thank you. We'll pop that down to 2.
Let's see. Let's see. What do we want to do? Well, we will move all the artillery up at the north. The other artillery, no, I don't want to move him at this point. And skirmishes are allowed to pass through with no penalties, right?
Yep.
Yeah, skirmishers can pass through formed units. Formed units can pass through skirmishers, right? Should be.
Yeah. All right. So I will also, which I neglected to move last turn, I will move my skirmishers. my hussars down there in the back.
Right. So you need to break them down into their
I
little
will. Yeah.
constituent packets.
We'll get to them in a minute. Last but not least, I'm just all right. Now we got fire if we want. Nope, I'm not going to do any fire at this time. All right, we will start with Bevern, I guess.
So Bevern's got at least a couple people that can take a pot shot.
Yep. So, no, they can't. Actually, vineyards block line of sight.
Oh, interesting. Yep, you're right. They can't.
Another one of those changes.
Yep.
So you got to get up and get personal.
You got to get up and get personal. All right. So this guy will take.
It makes sense. I mean, if you've ever been in a vineyard.
All right. So you got 12 to 15 with a minus 10.
10.
Oh, that's a good roll. That's going to be an 87 at 1 to 1.5.
Definitely a hit.
Yep, that's a palpable hit. All right, but no morale check. Okay.
All right, so we'll go. This guy will move here. This guy will move there. 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 This guy will move 1, 2.
Well, it's more than that because you're up a slope. Or does that matter for the infantry?
Wait a minute.
It's a +1.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
These slopes are kind of. All right.
They're very subtle, a little too subtle. As opposed to the ones that we saw at Zorndorf, which were like too obvious.
Yeah. 3, 4. All right. When I come out of the vineyard, I can only go 1 hex, basically, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But I go into whatever formation I want.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out.
That's right. Yep.
He comes out.
Any single hex formation.
Actually, is that would I gain anything by? Let's see. From column to line, the easy side is to the left.
Well, from column to line, usually the easy side is, yes, where you're going to turn 1 vertex to the left.
Or 2 or 3.
Well, for you, probably, because you are super special magical.
It's both. Or that's cavalry. Let's see. That's infantry. Infantry 1. Yeah, for me 1, 1, 1. Okay, I got 1, 1, 1 all that way.
Well, I'm showing, 1, 1, 1. Yeah.
So, let's see.
So, Eric, tell us about our enormous studio audience.
Oh my gosh. I pulled up the rules and haven't seen. We don't have anybody currently chiming in with greetings.
Oh, no.
We do have 2 likes so far. At one point in time, we had 3 people watching.
Uh-huh.
Now we're down to 1 person, 1 lone dedicated human being.
Presumably not you.
Not me. I don't watch.
You don't count.
I do not count. No, I just have the
I'm
stats
just,
that show
I'm
up.
just,
So,
okay. Just checking.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's still the the time that we did not have me on the video camera was the time when we
That was,
had the
that,
largest
it,
group of people watching. So
did you not take the hint?
I did not take
Are
the
you
hint. I
telling me
think I'm going to have to
you're
try
telling
that
me the
again.
camera's on right now?
Yep, yep. People can now
Oh my
see me.
gosh.
So I am
Oh my
actually
gosh.
perhaps repelling viewers.
Yes, actively. Well, that's how
Yep,
we got from 3 to 1.
that's
That's
true. They
yeah.
looked at that. They said, "Who is this old guy? What is this
We
that we're
and we
watching?"
may want to check and see, is the one visually impaired perhaps? Maybe that's the thing.
That could be. They're
Maybe they
watching
just
this
love our
with.
melodious
Yes,
voices.
that's true. Or they might
I know I
be
have the
suffering from insomnia, and they,
yeah,
yeah,
I have the face for radio.
indeed,
Maybe I have
indeed.
the voice for radio too. I
I
don't
have
know.
been told that. Yes.
A unit in general order. Can I move into any one of my front hexes?
Yeah, any of the 3. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he can move to there, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. And then presumably at that point, are you putting him in column
Yep.
facing that way?
I could either put him in column or I could put him in line. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just
let's put him in line that way. And him there. And 1, 2, 3. And
the Institute of Unfinished Research has concluded that 6 out of 10 people
6 out of 10.
yeah,
And that's it.
that's it
Yeah.
because it is the Institute of Unfinished Research.
Yep. I like that.
So that's it right there.
all right. Now, who shall go? All right, we'll go this way. And the winery isn't anything special except for a landmark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly it was a teetotaler who was responsible for that rule because I think there'd be profound impact to walking through the winery. There's a reason there are no Cossacks in this game.
And there. Two of them there. And there.
Come on now. All right. You doing all your infantry?
Yeah, he's doing a wing activation, right? For the infantry? Yeah, so he's moving Kleist.
Okay, yeah, I thought I saw one of his guys
Yeah.
has moved. I wasn't sure about the rest of them.
Let's see. He turned 1, 2, 3. So I can actually, he can go one more. These guys go 1, 2.
Coming to get you now, brother.
I'm worried.
You should be.
Oh, that's your artillery special leader there.
Yep.
Okay, I was wondering. Didn't recognize his name.
Yep, that's my
Molar.
and just for actually I'm gonna put him into a hook. Just in case you try to.
What? Who, me? Charge you with my cavalry? Is that what you were worried about?
This is Eric we're talking about here.
Yeah. That's right. I'm a pacifist. I wouldn't do anything like that. We'd just be coming up to shake your hand. That's all. It's not an
With
attack.
a saber.
Yeah, well, it never hurts.
Shake your hand right off onto the ground.
Exactly. Starting to look serious.
Yeah, it does look pretty serious. I'll give you that.
All right. Are you done
We
with
done?
your wing?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Oh no, I almost forgot I said the Hussars. Okay. All right, I gotta go find their.
They should be on your order of battle
Yep.
chart.
Yep. There they are.
Part of your new green initiative.
They do have. That's a nice color for a Hussar jacket.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think my Hussars look better, but
Well.
because we've got that same green, but we got blue pants, and we've got
Well.
yellow braiding on our jackets.
So if we get together, we'll kind of get mixed up,
And no one will
Yeah.
know.
you
Yeah,
won't know which.
we won't
which
know
one.
who's
No one will
who.
have
Yeah,
any idea what you're supposed to do.
that's
now.
why I got blue pants, and you got tan pants.
All right, let's see. So what's their move?
So
They're gonna move here, so cost them one to
Okay.
change, right?
Yeah, so it costs 1 for them to break down.
Does it?
Half.
I thought it
believe
did.
does. Yeah, that's what I thought it did too.
I don't think it does. I'm looking for it. I don't. Hasn't expended any movement. Has still at least 50% of its strength points available. Does not cost MPs.
Oh, okay. So breaking down and reform is.
Yeah, breaking
Okay.
down and reforming is different than going in and out of skirmish formation. Interestingly, it's a separate rule 8.5a, and yes, it's not obvious, but I was making sure that you both show up in the same hex, and you do, but obviously you've got to move, you've got to separate. So away you go.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to throw one of your skirmish? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I need to keep them together, so we'll keep them together there.
Bingo. All right. Anything else?
Oh, that looks like they are cool.
Cool. All right, Michael, go ahead and chuck your dice.
Finished.
Yeah, I was just marking them as finished, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay.
Ooh,
yeah,
we got
all good.
pretty
Oh,
colors.
we got dueling finished. Okay.
Oh,
All right, die roll.
you moved the wrong guy. You picked up
Yeah,
one
I
of
moved
his
up.
infantry.
I didn't move anybody.
Somebody
did.
picked up. You picked up you had an infantry unit there.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, boof, he just disappeared.
Okay. Well, that was in
All right.
advance of the clock, and it is still in Austrian
That's
activation.
one of ours. Okay. Do you have anything exciting you want to do, Michael?
Well, obviously, I've still got a bunch of cavalry moved down south.
Okay.
I've got more infantry that I can move up. So
All
yeah,
right.
I've definitely got things to do, places to go, people to see.
Okay, I will activate my Grenzer up here so he can fire, and then I'll activate this Grenadier that's up here. So if you've got a command that you want to do, those guys will kind of jump in on your
Okay. Yep.
command.
No, that sounds real good. And so I'm just looking for who the leader is. Where is he? I've got an H.
You've
Where's
got
the
H.
other one? H and L-O?
H is here, and then low is here.
There's L-O. Okay, so
Yeah.
clearly H needs to go. That's the obvious
Yeah.
message I'm deriving from that. All right. All right. So he is not going to have to roll because he's within reach of his wing leader, who's within reach of Brown. So I'm all good there. And we're going to go ahead and start marching up and down the square, I guess.
There you go. It looks like you got some guys already in. Yeah, road column.
That's one. That's two. That's three. Let's don't get too hung up about the orientation there.
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah.
3. And
Was there a clarification in the rules about the squares with the dots that says you can't go through them, but you can on the causeway?
I think there is in the new rules.
Yeah. It said that
For-
along the causeway that you've got the road there, but you can only do it in road order, I think, was what it had specified.
Why do I have? Oh, because he's not in road. That's why. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing all this in the correct order.
So it says combat units in road column treat the causeway hex as a road hex. Combat units not in road column treat the causeway hex as a marsh hex. Leaders and skirmishers have their own costs for causeway hexes. A causeway hex has a fire defense value of 5 when the target is in road column. Target units in any other formation use the marsh fire defense value of 10. Hexes 4308 and 4309, which I believe are the ones that are there along the wall, are treated as restricted causeway hexes. They cannot be entered by any unit except leaders, combat units in road column formation, route retreating units, and skirmishers. So those ones would have to be, you could only go on that one in road. The other causeways you could cross, but it would be considered marsh. So I think there's a couple other causeways down in that southern part of the map.
Yeah, there is.
There's a couple
right
down
by
here.
right by this skirmisher down here. There's another causeway.
And
Oh yeah, and
there's
there's another one
there.
further back.
That's
Yeah.
the one, yeah.
But yeah, this one's obviously a little bit special because you're really hemmed in.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, now these guys need to go into road, which means I need to think about how do I do that. I guess that's going to cost 2. Yeah, it's going to cost 2, and then he'd be like that, and then he can turn for free because he's following the road. So then that would be, so there was 2, that'd be 3. So it's only 3.5, and he's right. Wrong way. Okay, and I'm going to copy this whole stack and paste it here because that's what these guys would be, and then these guys would be behind. So we're doing the fancy thing where there's 4 strength points here.
Yep.
There's
2 there.
Points here, and then there's 4 there, 2 from each.
Yep.
Oh, you're just getting too fancy for me.
Oh, I am fancy. Boy, let me tell you. All right, and then I think this next outfit will do the exact same thing. They're just going to march on up 1, 2.
But you can't. Those guys are LO.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong. I'm only activating the one command.
Yeah.
It was a wing last time, so I was thinking. Yeah, no, you're right. Hey, don't do that. Okay.
So if you hit the undo button, it should move them back.
Yeah. It's already too late for all that foolishness. Oh. Okay. All right. Now, H himself needs to move, though.
Yep.
Hi, Sooty. The cat suddenly decided that I needed to be spoken to. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, right. All right, we'll do that.
Bingo.
Is it fun to stand on the rules? Good for you. Good for you. Silly cat. All right. I guess that's it for those guys, and that is just supreme. So we will proceed apace. Eric.
Cool. Time to chuck some dice. Hey, we get a magical something or other.
So 2 for the Austrians?
2-0. What does that do? End turn marker. Player may move the end turn marker up or down 1 space. What are you thinking?
Well, it's interesting. So he's got only his cavalry left, and how many commands are in that cavalry?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
4. So quite a few left. Well, in that case, I think I'd rather move it down.
Okay, let's do that.
Because, I mean, we got some stuff to move, but we're more likely to get them.
Yeah. So I'll push it forward 1. Yep. So now we're on the 4 track.
Okay.
And let me roll again and see what we get. An 07. That's 1 for them.
7 for the Prussians.
It says free combat segment. Pick a command. Oh, I forgot to do my firing and moving my grenadier when you were doing your.
Oh, right. You talked about doing it, but you just didn't do it. Okay.
So let me go ahead before you do your stuff. I'll have this guy fire there. That's going to be 15 to 15. It's a 1-to-1 shot. No pluses, no minuses. This guy right there. Okay. So it's a 1-to-1 shot. No pluses, no minuses. A 53 at 1-to-1, I believe, is a miss. Yep. All right. So we mark them as finished. And then this guy's going to break down into skirmish, and he's going to go charging forward. Bayonets ready. Let's see.
What?
Special kamikaze skirmishers there.
What are you talking about?
I've got these Grenzers back here. I got these Grenadiers back here, yeah. So they're going to go into skirmish. And then this guy, let me go ahead and put him back on the other half of the board.
Okay.
On the optimistic that he'll get reformed at some point in the future.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen.
Yep. So let's go 1, 2.
You got to roll.
What do I have to roll for?
Well, they do have to activate themselves.
Oh, okay. Here we go. They managed to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Now they should be able to move their
1, 2,
full 4.
3, 4, 5. Well, does it cost anything for them to go up the slope? 0.
Skirmishers, no.
1, 2,
probably
3,
not.
4,
No.
6, 7, and steep slope as well. 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to go into the vineyard only cost 1, 7, 8. They'll go right there.
Those guys are making time.
They are.
Although I guess David's skirmish cavalry certainly were.
Yeah. They were dashing along. Okay, cool. All right. That's it for me. So now it is a close or a free combat. Pick a command for fire combat or close combat. Initiative
free fire combat or close combat for a command of yours, David.
Right, but it says initiative required.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Beverin's initiative is terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anybody else.
That makes any sense, right?
He doesn't have anybody else who's close enough to do anything.
Is Molwitz eligible for that?
I don't know why not.
I don't remember
There
that
was,
gets mentioned in here
yeah,
or
I
not.
Unless it got
thought it might have said
changed.
Mueller. So.
Well, I think the analog to him was in colon, but I don't remember specifically.
Right.
I don't know. We take a look. That's why we write these crazy rules.
Yep.
Where are the Prussian? Come on.
So free
Prussian
combat
special
segment,
rules.
player who rolled this result picks one of his commands or special leader who must pass an initiative roll to be
Or
eligible
special
for
leader.
this.
I mean, well, but the special leader doesn't have an initiative value.
So it says here, if an artillery leader is chosen, he is automatically considered to have initiative for the purposes of
There
this
you go.
result.
There you go.
Then for anybody else, if he fails the roll, there's no penalty. If the
Do-
leader
do
passes the initiative roll, any eligible units of his command
Right.
or eligible independent units will either have a fire combat or close combat segment. That is, the same type of combat must be chosen for all eligible units.
Right.
So you can't do fire and then combat. You'd either have to do close combat or fire.
Well,
one
and
or
you
the
can't
other.
do some do one and some
Right,
do the
right.
other.
For a unit to be eligible to take advantage of this, it must not be disordered and must be within the command range of the chosen leader. Furthermore, an independent unit that has to be stacked with a combat unit or leader of the command. If the unit involved have not yet been activated, they are still not considered so. If there are mixed stacks with units from multiple commands, only the units of the command chosen may engage in combat. The command chosen to initiate the close combat, the units of the command may advance one hex in order to and only to engage in close combat, but may not change facing. Of course, cavalry are allowed
So
to
I
advance
guess,
one
all
hex
right.
in
So
mid-charge.
Mueller isn't because he's not stacked with a. He has to be stacked with a.
Well, I don't know. That's a really interesting, because I think if you wanted to be really sort of literal about this, you'd say that those artillery are independent units and he's not stacked with them, therefore that wouldn't be permitted. But on the other hand, clearly by definition his units are independent units.
Right. I
So
think
I'm
they're
kinda
dealing
like-
more with if you had like a grenadier battalion that you wanted to activate alongside.
Exactly. He would need to be stacked with one of your
Right.
units, or
Right,
stacked
or
with the
stacked
leader
with the
itself.
leader. I think it's
But-
okay. I think you could fire the artillery. I don't know why you couldn't.
I mean, because I kind of would take the approach of, for purposes of this, he's activating, and his special ability is to affect up to 2 batteries that are in his hex or adjacent, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that it?
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, that's all this is. It's kind of like that's his command range for these units for this purpose. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems fair to me.
Yeah. No, I totally think he should be able to do it.
Let's see. I'm just.
Now, I think you've got a better target with Bevern. The artillery is a long distance, and there's
Yeah,
not
I'm
a lot
just-
to shoot
that's
at.
it.
So,
And actually, when you read you may not be able to. Just if you look at he would only be able to be used once. Whatever. There's some other restrictions. The number they can place it is not limited to the number of charges to which they can apply their command fire. They can place. All right. Well, yeah. I'd probably be better off doing Bevern here.
yeah, because if you're trying to kill units, you've got 3 units that can shoot at that guy and potentially grease him. While with your artillery, I mean, you're at long range. I don't know that you can do much of
No,
anything.
I don't have 3 units that can shoot. Oh,
Yeah, you do, right?
I do have 3 that
Yeah,
can do that.
yeah.
Yeah, they do. All right, let's see. Load in. Nope, missed.
Doesn't matter. Okay, let me roll again, see what else I can get. Oh,
On we
it's
go.
another one for us. Activation. Player receives a normal, not limited,
this
activation for an unactivated command.
is that weird one that really only matters in the end turn.
Oh, okay.
I mean, really, it's just an activation.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So that's one for us.
right. So we're down to 4. So if there's somebody that needs to move, then you might think about it. I've certainly gotten. I mean, I've got a couple more that I definitely would like to do, but
Okay.
without the same degree of urgency as you, who are in the middle of it. So if you've got something you'd like to do,
I can wait another
Oh,
impulse
okay.
or two. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I guess I will activate. Actually, I think I'm going to activate Wolfersdorf.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking, dude. All right. Don't need to do anything fancy. He's well in command, so then I will just decide what I want to do there. Oh, it helps so much if you click on the correct key. Make a note. That could be really helpful in a different circumstance for you. All right.
There you go.
That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. And that is pretty riveting. And then I guess I'll just put him here and do that.
Cool.
And I guess, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I guess I'll go ahead and move the wing leader anyway, just to get him somewhere. So, all right, all done.
Cool.
And is it Eric's roll? I'm sorry,
That was
David's
my roll. It's David's turn. That's another one for us, and it moves the clock.
Moves the clock.
Moves the clock down to 5 now.
Down to 5.
All right.
All right. Well, this one I can take. I'll activate O'Donnell.
Okay.
So, which way do I want to go? I want to try to scoot a little bit. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So they're all going to do this little dance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Just a little line dancing, huh?
Yep, little line dancing.
Very nice.
Yep.
All righty.
And we can move O'Donnell there, and we can move. Well, let's see. Radiketsky, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still in command of Lacey. Okay, cool. That's it for me. So
magnificent.
Yep.
My die roll.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a big one.
That is one for the Prussians, but it is just a single.
It's not one for the Prussians.
It's
one for the Austrians.
Oh God, I keep getting them backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I've advanced it to 6, and we get one more. Okay.
Yep.
I think part of the problem is the die colors are backwards relative to the map context. So the left number is the one that applies to us, but we're on the right side of the screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where I'm continuing to stumble. Okay. All right. Do you need to do anything
I've
else?
actually, I mean, the only one I've got left to do anything with would be Haddock's light
Haddock.
cavalry,
Right.
and
right.
he's okay where he is right now.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
All good.
providing
then.
a sufficient screen. I don't know
Perfect.
that the Prussians can do anything unpleasant to me just yet. So
Yeah, they would need a couple of
free moves or
activations
whatever.
to get
Yeah,
close
yeah.
enough. Yeah, exactly. So probably not, but okay. All right. Well, that's real fine. Then I will go ahead and do the other cavalry outfit, I guess.
Right.
Uh,
That's going to be Lobowitz.
too small for me to read.
Lobkowski. Lobkowitz. Lobkowitz. Lobkowitz.
Sure, let's say that. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Okay. And I'm going to have a little brief discussion with my pancreas. Because
why not?
It's just the sort of thing I do. Come on. How about we just get serious? Okay. All right. So let's see. Well, some of this will be easy because some of them are already in road. So maybe I'll just go ahead and move these ones I intended to move previously. And then I will misclick them. Oh, and they're in command because Brown can reach Lucchese. Lucchese can reach him. So that's done. So that's 1 and 2. And, kind of like 2. Okay. That's like 2.5. And then I will scooch these guys comme ça. And there we go. And then other guys, let's see, they're already in road, so I guess I'll just bring them forward. 1, 2, 2.5. I've got to think about this. I guess if I did 1, 2, 2.5, then 3.5, 4.5, then he goes into road and can extend forward into the hex ahead of him. Yeah, exactly. So I'll just copy that and move it over there and do that, and then copy this and put it on him. And that's pretty special. And then let's see, what else do we got? Where is this guy? And where's the other half of him? Oh, well, whatever.
PAL.
Actually, that means he's probably out of command. I'm looking for the other half of that unit.
Does it exist?
Which
I would have told you it did.
Oh, it's underneath Loskowitz.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh God! For some reason, this vassal module's not doing a very good job of.
Well, yeah, the white is, there's no shade on that side, so you can only just barely see it in sort of the lower left corner of the counter, where it's kind of overlapping.
You're right. I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's kind of messed up. Okay. All right. Well, so they are in command, obviously. Okay. All right. Well, then, if that guy extends forward, that costs him 2 to go into road. That's 3. That's 4. And then this guy will just follow up behind. And we will
copy and paste and rinse and repeat.
Lather, rinse, repeat. But I'm getting better at it, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. And then these knuckleheads, I think probably, I don't want to overcomplicate this. 2, 3. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't make any difference. So I'm just going to definitely just do that. He'll just do the same thing. He'll roll forward. We'll do the exact same thing for them. And it's just like a parade ground here.
It is.
I mean, this is just
We're
easy
on parade
peasy.
at the Solkowitzer Tiergarten.
Yes, exactly.
Willkommen to the Solkowitzer Tiergarten.
I understand all the ladies are going to be there.
It's the Limpazoners there.
5.
I hope there's going to be some tears, but
All right, we're going to move
only hope
there, and we'll just this guy here because I mean he's got to be somewhere. Let's just move him there. Okay. All righty. Okay, all done there.
Is it back to me again? I thought that was
I think so.
Yep, here we go. Let's see if we can finish it up. We did. We got an 8.
No, not quite.
Yeah, no. An 8 is the number we need to hit. It has to beat an 8?
Yeah, you have to beat the enter number.
Oh, okay. So we were close.
I don't know why that's the rule. It just is.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I thought you had to hit it. So,
no.
All right.
Exceed.
Well, cool. Do you have anybody else you need or desire to have moved?
I've got, infantry. I can move,
Why don't
but
you
it's
go
not
ahead?
urgent.
Well, I don't have anything urgent at this point. I've already done all
what
the
you
urgent
felt
stuff.
like doing.
Yeah.
Okay. What do I have there? I got a 6. Those are all 6-pounders. Why did I think I had some? Oh, that's because the other ones are down here. Okay. I'm wondering if it makes sense to gang these guys up. I can put 4 of them in one hex, can I?
Yeah. Yeah, you can have artillery. You can have that 8,
isn't it?
But you can have
Oh,
8 in
8?
hex, but you can only fire with 4 out of the hex, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that
maximum
makes sense.
SP's firing is 4.
Is 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I
was thinking that was the maximum. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. But
it's on the fire chart.
Okay.
On the fire formation chart.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right. Then I guess I'm gonna activate. Let's see, who is this? Peroni.
There we go.
Somebody's feeling thirsty, so he's gonna go for a Peroni. And I'll activate these guns up there, and I guess I will just go ahead and move them both forward 1 this turn, and then I'm gonna move the infantry forward 1, 2. I'll leave the leader back for the moment and move these forward 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he can probably just stay right there. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's beyond fine. That's just dandy.
Dandy. That's our favorite.
I think back to David then.
Okay. Roll, chuck some dice, David.
Okay.
Oh, it's a special
What?
something. Oh, 1. That
Usually
is
not a good one.
End turn marker. Player may move the end turn marker up or down 1 space.
Oh no! That's terrible.
Wow.
I could see him moving it down and finishing the whole turn.
Clearly, just to get
exactly
this over
what
with.
he's going to do. Yeah.
There's no question.
Nope.
Oh, he moved it up. Okay, go ahead and roll again. Oh, it's an 04. That's going to be.
Oh, this is that aggressive leader one.
Aggressive leader.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh God.
So what's it
And
do if you've already have somebody if they've already moved, I guess,
yeah, I think
but
if
it's
they've
just
already
for
activated,
next
that doesn't
turn.
apply because that's one of the first things is have not yet been activated.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the criteria for picking one.
Yep. So you can skip
Um,
that one because
I
I don't think
think
you've
you
got
And
can.
anybody else who's got a line of sight at this point.
that hasn't been activated. You are
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
Oh, I dodged another one. Got twice in that one.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
All right, one more time here with feeling.
With
This time with
feeling,
feeling.
indeed. Oh, it's a
What?
special one
No.
for us. Free
Pick
combat segment.
or
Pick a
close
command for fire combat or
initiative
close
required.
combat. Well, I think the only command I've got would be the Grenzers out here, right?
Uh, yeah, and this
Yeah.
is going to be one of those cases where it's just going to be the
Yep,
Grenzers.
just the Grenzers, yeah. So,
Yeah, so
so I need to make my initiative roll for this guy. So let's see what he's worth. He's worth 5. Let's see. I got to roll 1 die.
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, I rolled a 1. So
Okay.
he's
All
he's
right. All
okay.
right.
He's happy.
Free shooting.
Free shooting. So we'll do this one. It's a 1-to-1. No pluses,
Yep.
no minuses. 64
Nope.
at 1-to-1.
Just missed.
Yeah, I guess what you got to get a 70 to
70.
score something there. Good. And then this
Yeah.
guy is going to be, I guess, 2 times 2 is going to be
Ooh, boy.
4 to 10. So that's gonna be what,
Yeah, 1 to 3. So you're going to need a special result to get anything.
Okay. Well, we'll roll, see what we get. Hey, we got a 9-0. That's a special
Oh.
result, right?
No, no, but actually, no. That's right. Yeah, yep. You need 100.
I need
to
100.
hit.
Yeah. I was
that's the problem.
joking.
So,
I was joking because
No,
there was
but-
a 0 there. I'm like, oh, it's a special
yeah,
result.
exactly. No, the only time it would really help would be if you were firing at a target of some size, because then the 90 becomes 100.
Right. No, but
Right.
he's only got
he's not
6 increments.
The
there,
other
yeah.
thing is a 90 actually would offer him a return fire, but I don't think he can hit you, can he? Or you got 2 hex range in this game, don't you?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. So he'd be
Yeah, well.
2 times. He'd be 4 to 15. With a -10, I don't think he can hit me. 4 to 15
Well,
is
he can
going to be
hit
a
you
1
with
to 4.
3. He can hit you with 3 strength points, so it's a 6.
Why is he hitting me with 3 strength points? He can only fire out with half, right? I mean, this guy's right here. This other guy's blocking.
Oh,
Isn't he firing at the
right.
guy who
No,
fired
no,
at him?
No, I'm sorry. You're right. It is 2. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So
Keep-
so
keep
4
rolling
to, 4
special
to 15 would be
results, I
pretty
guess,
lousy.
David.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
We're on a tear
We're on a
here.
streak there.
Okay, one more time with feeling.
This time with feeling.
All right,
All
that's
right,
going to
we
move the
it
clock.
back,
Move the clock back.
and it's another one for you.
That's another
Oh
one
boy.
for us.
Boy.
Okay.
Supreme. All right. Well, I got another infantry outfit. We can work this clock down, brother.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and push those guys forward?
Yeah. All right. And yeah, I think I will. All right. So we'll just go ahead and grab them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip and finished. And
Now it's your
Now
turn
to
to
you.
chuck some dice.
back to me.
Yep, back to you.
Well, we're smoothly moving right on down the way.
77.
There we
That's going to
go.
push it
And
That
into
puts us
end
to
turn
end
territory.
turn. And it's our activation if we want it, or we can give it to him and make him activate.
Well,
It doesn't. I mean, it probably doesn't much matter, but strictly, that's. Remember how we got kind of messed up?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably better if we just
Yep.
go ahead and
So we give it to
So-
you.
I'd give it to you, David. So one of your formations needs to do a limited activation.
AKA flip a unit over.
Yeah.
Flip a leader over, yeah.
I mean, unless you've got shooting or disorder checks or,
Right.
obviously in this case it's meaningless. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
All
I'll
right,
roll.
Eric.
And that's one for us. We'll give it to David.
Okay.
Let's see, we got. Guess. Okay.
Who did you flip? Oh, Coker.
Cat's
No,
here.
Kotzler. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Chuck some dice, David.
Hey, that's yours. No, it's ours again. Dang
It's
it.
ours
I
again.
keep
Go ahead and
getting
take it, David.
Let's do. All right.
All right. I think you've only got one guy left. We've only got one guy left. All right.
Oh,
So
it's
over to you,
back to me,
Michael.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh, big roll.
That's another big roll. Go ahead. Take that one, David.
And you just got two left, don't you, Eric?
I've only got Haddock. Oh yeah, you're right. And I've got
No, you got
and I got
the cavalry
Lowenstein in the back. Yeah, so I got two
Right.
left. Yeah. So.
Right, and then the king moved, so.
So can the king move, or they can only move during?
And in turn, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Leaders can always move during the end turn.
Oh, okay. I was always under the impression we had to move them during an activation.
No,
so.
You just have to move them during an activation, but it could be even a limited one. Leaders aren't limited by it.
Okay. All right. So it's my turn.
Right.
Well, that's another one. David, do you have anything left?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll flip over Lowenstein.
Okay.
And then it's over to you, David. A 9-0.
A 9-0.
Special rally. Pick a command for disordered recovery or rally. Well, we don't have anybody, I believe, who is disordered.
I got a disordered unit.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh, yeah.
The guy in Sullivan's. Yep. I mean, I'll just go ahead and roll for it, right?
Yep.
All right.
44.
Pretty. Oh God, I hope that's enough.
He should be good. I think our guys are in the 30s.
Yeah. No, he's good enough. So we'll spare us the agony of having to do that later. So that was good.
All right. Roll again, David. A 3-0. Hey, that's the one we were looking for. Player receives a normal, not limited activation for an unactivated command.
Oh, that's marvelous for that command.
All right. So Haddock, who was the last one, we can actually move him if I wanted to. So
if you feel like it.
Yeah, I might as well.
You must have felt really strongly about moving him, considering that we got this far without you moving him.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to move him just for the sake of having. Having this there. I'm just
taking the full opportunity here.
Yep. I'm like,
I didn't even want to move him, but I've got to.
I got to move it just for the sake of.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
There we go. Funny. All right.
And I'm going to try to decide, do I need to move Brown? And I think maybe I will, since this is our last activation. So all your guys up north are working for Lacey, right?
Yeah, they're working for Lacey. Yep.
Okay. So really, there's no real reason to move Brown up north. Actually, you know what? We need to be careful about this because we didn't attend to it this turn, and we need to start being more careful. Once Lacey's guys move, we need to stay with Lacey's guys because he's a detachment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until now, but he's a detachment leader. Because he's a detachment leader, once we've done an activation of his, you have to go
We have to do
through all
everybody
of
else's.
those.
Okay.
And then anybody who gets skipped, who's part of his detachment.
So he's got
once you finally get
Veed
to
and Haddock. Those are the only two that are part of his. So
Really?
yeah, that's it. Lacey's only got Veed and Haddock. He's basically got the avant-garde. So
Oh, so
the
like the cavalry
the
are not part of his
cavalry
outfit.
is not part of his. They're under Radachitsky. So they're
But
not
he's
actually
not a
part of.
separate detachment.
No, he's not.
He's a wing leader, but not a separate detachment.
Right. But I think
Okay.
there was something that said as long as he's within range of Lacey, he is in command. I don't have to have him in command within range
Of Brown?
of Brown.
Interesting. But he's not part of Lacey's detachment? Let's go read that. That's kind of wacky. Okay. All right, there's Brown. There's detachment leader Lacey. Okay. And then there's wing reader. Yes. Where does it talk about
Probably be section.
So it says
3.
detachment leaders. Wing leader Lacey starts scenario 1 and 2 as a detachment leader. His detachment consists of all units that start north of hex row N26.
20?
N26. North of N26.
Well, that does include Radazitsky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just on the chart, it's not showing that they're there, but
Okay. Yeah, but they are.
Right.
Okay.
okay.
So really, the effect is similar.
Right.
It's just that it means that he's definitely pointing back at Lacey only.
Right.
Okay. So again, kind of not a lot of reason to worry about moving Brown north.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure, other than the flexibility, because obviously to the extent that there's not a detachment, but I don't know. So, all right. Well, now's the time to reposition the leaders. So
Right.
feel free to reposition leaders. I think I'm going to feel free to do that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I'm okay with where Lacey is. Feed is within range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Haddock's in range. Radachetsky's in range. Everybody else is in range. Okay. I'm fine with my guys.
All right. Then I think we may be perilously close to done.
Well, at this point, we've activated everybody, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone has anybody shaken
Nope.
or routed.
Nope, not yet. Give me time.
All right. Yeah. I have every confidence. All
Yeah.
right. Well, if that's the case, then we could hit the end turn.
Okay.
And we could hit the move marker. And we could move the clock.
Yep. So
Move
it's
it
the
to
9:40. Yep.
And then declare victory.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
I'll
the
say.
Prussians, right? All right.
All right. Good job, David.
We're waiting for the rule where the king runs off the field. What was that? That's got to be a 0-0. Yeah.
The roll that makes him win.
Yeah. That makes the king run away.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We do need to smash up a few more casualties.
We do.
I
We
think
haven't
before we're
really
likely
done
to get
enough.
very far
We
with
haven't done
that.
enough to.
Yeah,
push
I think
it
those
into that
two
realm.
steps that you've knocked off of one of those units.
Well,
up there
he actually has got 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you're right. That's 3, 4.
4.
Oh my
and
gosh.
5. Yeah,
you
because he
feeling
starts
woozy,
with
David?
4. Yeah.
Oh, and they count against the.
Yep. Yeah, the ones
the army
the hits that
losses,
started.
right.
So he's at
So
a
in
whole
other
whopping
words-
5.
In other words, the setup has done as much damage as we have.
And the setup has done more damage than we have. What are you talking about?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. We need
Do
to
you
get to
want to?
15 losses before
All right.
we run
Do
the
you want
risk
to
of.
spend a couple minutes chatting about Quebec?
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you
Sure.
fill us in on that?
So yesterday, Paul came over. Al came over as well. Al didn't play. He just visited with us. Actually, you know what Al did? Solid guy. Solid guy. He said, "Well, we don't need this second." Well, he asked me when was I going to play this first victories, the Terry Doherty game, because it's sitting there on the
Right,
table, but it's in the box. And I said, "Well, it's because your playtest copy of Quebec is sitting on the other half of my table. I don't have
right,
room for it." And he says, "Oh, well, I'll put it away." I said, "Oh, well, okay, that's real nice of you." So he spends quite a lot of time taking the game down and putting it into a million little baggies, which I
right.
gave him, and that was great. And then he said, "Well, I guess I'll set the game up for you." So he, he unpacks my first victories game and sets out which map do you want? Do you want the little map? Okay, the little map. All right. And then he starts setting out all the player aids. Anyway, it was so funny. So now it's like, well, now I kind of have to play that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm ready to go. Um,
Well,
but
and I'm
what?
curious if you want to at Consim maybe play either that or play ALAO 1807, a scenario from that
So
with the new and improved
so
rules.
no. So that's good. So the only thing I've committed to do for sure is I've committed to play Quebec with Ty,
Oh, okay.
and we haven't specified exactly like what days we're going to play. I need to reach out to him and get that figured out. I've certainly got some other guys that we were going to play some lighter stuff like Flying Colors, which is Age of Sail
Right, right.
stuff, which is a lot of fun, especially when you got a bunch of guys around the table. So maybe some of that again, not scheduled. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I'd bring first victories out because I really think, especially because the battle's really not very big.
Yeah,
Rolisa,
yeah,
not very big, and probably could kind of work your way through it. I think it'd be fun.
yeah. No, I played Rolissa, or I played probably 4 or 5 turns of it using the
Okay.
basic rules, and this was
Okay.
probably 3 months ago now.
Oh
Um,
wow, that long. Wow.
yeah, yeah, and I even filmed some stuff, but I haven't edited the video yet. Like everything else, it's easy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
film, and then it's a pain in the butt to sit down and edit it. Um,
Right.
but what I'm more excited about is having visited the battlefield at Vimiro,
Oh
is
yeah.
setting up Vimiro and
Okay.
seeing
Yeah.
if the test of the game would be if we get a similar result
Sure.
where the French columns coming in to the British line get stopped, smashed,
Right.
and sent
Right.
running away.
Well, in
Um,
that case, we would definitely want me playing the French then,
is that
because
it?
then
No.
they will get smashed and run away. That would be easy.
Oh, that's if
So
they
yeah.
even go in for the attack. Remember, you always had that difficulty getting them to.
I have two leaders
That's
arguing
right.
about
Two leaders
their
arguing about their
mistresses.
mistresses. Who's going to go? Yeah.
Their common mistress, actually.
Yeah.
That's the big
Yeah.
problem. Okay. Right. So let me start putting some dates down.
Yeah.
So I'll get back with you on that. But that sounds great. I
Yeah.
mean, now
That could
that I
be the sort of
finally
thing we
got it
do
out of the
maybe
box.
late in the week,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah,
how
that
long you're going to be there. Because I'll
no,
probably be doing
absolutely.
Libatai the first 3 or 4 days. And then I figured
Right.
either in the evening
Afterwards, maybe.
or later in the
Yeah,
week when the Labatai stuff kind of has,
right.
we kind of at a point of decision.
Run its course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Well, let's do that. So then what Paul and I were going to do is play scenario 6, which is
Okay.
the American Revolution, Benedict Arnold and Montgomery trying to do the bum rush and seize Quebec,
Okay.
like in a blinding snowstorm at night. I think it was Christmas,
Uphill
New
both
Year's. I'm
ways.
not sure. Yeah, something like that. And you want to talk about weird. The special rules are immense. and kind of understandably, because it's a very different battle.
Right.
For one thing, all right, so just give you a sense of the weird. Most of the units are 1 strength point.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them are 2 strength points. Stacking is 2 strength points.
Oh wow.
But that's okay, because the only combat effects that matter are routing, disordering. Well, that's it. Routing and
Right.
disordering.
So there's no shaken.
Exactly. Well, there is shaken, but you'd acquire shaken through other means.
Oh, okay.
Right. You can still become shaken. It's just that you don't care about the number of losses on the close combat chart, because losses don't matter.
Right.
And units that rout are removed from the board. And there's a small chance a special event may bring some back, but don't get too excited about the prospect. It did happen to me twice, but so
right.
Anyway, so very weird. It's like I said, it's bar on mushrooms, because it's like you know what it reminded me of? It's like, imagine that you'd played La Bataille de Moskva back in the 70s.
Right.
And then somebody brought out Moskva and said, okay, let's play with the Regs 30. And you'd go, well, it sure looks familiar, but huh?
Right.
It's like a completely different game, but it looks the same. So what's
Right.
happening here? So there's nearly no fire combat. So it's all close combat.
Right.
We never even made it to dawn.
Huh.
It starts in the dark.
Right.
And you can try to scale the walls. It's really hard.
Right.
So you're very possibly not going to scale the walls, but and then there's a 1 hex opening in the wall.
Okay.
Which like faces the river, like the St. Lawrence River. And I guess that was just to ease the movement of materials in and out of the port,
Sure.
I guess. And there's a big barricade there.
Okay.
But it's not actually a formal part of the walls. So that's the only place you can go that doesn't require scaling the walls.
Huh.
And so it's really weird, because as we're setting up, Paul and I are both like, what are we even doing? What's going on? Eventually you realize that the Americans are split in 2.
Okay.
And Benedict Arnold's group starts like, let me make sure I'm oriented here correctly, basically around the north side of Quebec City.
Okay.
And they go marching all the way down around the east side of the city, just outside the walls.
Okay.
And then have to brush back some militia who are in barricades in the lower city, which is outside the walls but towards the river.
Right.
And so you got to brush them back, and then you got to hit that open hex and
Right.
try to bum rush your way into the city. And at first, the British only have like 1 leader who can actually activate units until the first close combat happens, and so there's very limited reaction capability.
Right.
But it's so weird. It was interesting. I enjoyed it, but it was weird because close combat only lasts 1 round.
Right.
So if you get an MM result, for example, and you both pass your morale check, okay, we just wait till the next turn, and you can attack again if you want or not.
Right.
You don't have to attack everybody who's adjacent to you. You can attack who you want. Again, I think so much of it is trying to reflect the chaos and the darkness.
Right.
That, you don't have zones of control. I mean, it's everyone's in general order. I mean, it's just like.
Well, so how did
wow.
it go? How did the game go? Did you win or?
Absolutely crushed me.
And so
Well,
you were playing the Americans or you were playing the French?
no, I was playing the British,
Okay.
defending the city,
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's the British.
and um, and what we realized in retrospect is, of course, when we were setting up, neither one of us really had a very clear idea what was going to happen,
Right.
and so I set up suboptimally those militia in the lower city.
Ah,
And with the benefit of hindsight, now I realize that there were things I could have done that would have slowed down Benedict Arnold maybe a little more,
right.
or allowed some of the militia to escape into the city, because part of the victory points is a function of how many how many strength points are in the city compared to how many American strength points are in the city, plus however many barricades or readouts that the Americans had taken outside.
Right.
And so there was an advantage to being able to have more inside. Well, so he gets through faster than maybe he should have, and
Right.
he manages to get in and take that barricade that's guarding that one open hex.
Right.
And now I've got all my guys ready to go, and so I counterattack. And so I got 3 stacks of guys
Right.
that are attacking his 1 stack, and they're all maximum size stacks. They're all 2
Sure.
strength points
Yeah.
each, right? So it's 3-1, right? And his troops are good because these are the picked men. These are the
Right.
guys who were the point of the spear, and Benedict Arnold's a good
Commander.
leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I think 3-1 minus 4, I think, is what the odds played out to be. So not great, to be honest with you. And then we rolled the same number. So it was a -4 on the 3-1 column, which is MM.
Oh my gosh. So then
Which,
it's time to
pretty.
make morale checks. Yeah.
So then it's time to make morale checks. And guess what? All right. So 2 of my units, 2 of the stacks rout.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
But what's worse is that there's a rule, and we wrote Matthew some questions to clarify
Right.
this rule, because I was struggling. And you know what? It reminds me of the trouble we had at ILAO. There's a
Right.
panic
Yeah.
rule.
And then people get
And
pushed
so-
back or whatever. Or yes,
and
you're
so the-
right. If your neighbor runs away, then you have to roll a
Right.
morale check. Yeah.
And so, and the rules didn't, in my mind, really explain what's the interaction. If the 3 of us are all having to take a morale check due to a combat, are we affected by this panic, or is that just figured into your morale check?
Right.
Or if it's not, and you do need to do a separate morale check, in what order do you do them? Do you literally do it? Literally, I did this one guy, he panicked, so now this guy next to him has to do a morale check, maybe gets to be shaken. Now he's going to do a +10 for his own morale check, right?
Right.
And anyway, so 2 of them run, and the 3rd one's shaken.
Hmm.
And so so that means 4 strength points are gone
Right.
from the garrison inside the city, because the chances of them rallying very low.
Right.
And then because those guys were shaken, he was able to attack them and destroy them. So that meant that one 3-1 battle cost me 6 victory points effectively.
Wow.
And at that point, I started doing the math, and I realized, yeah. So we played another turn, and I moved up some other guys, but it was like, no.
Yeah, it's not
It
going to
wasn't
work.
gonna
Yeah.
happen. He did bring in 1 additional stack with Daniel Morgan. And I think he wasn't really doing the math, and I think he got a little ahead of himself, and he went ahead and attacked. And actually, it was the only close combat that the Americans lost in the entire game. And so Morgan's stack got wiped out. But obviously, Arnold's still in. And by the time we do the math, we realize that actually I've only got 11 strength points in the city, and he gets 12 strength points just for the things the barricades and readouts he'd managed to take. Plus, he gets 2 for Arnold's 2 guys in the city.
Right.
So he was already at 14, and I was at 11, and it wasn't going to get better.
Right.
Right. So it was like, okay, Uncle, you win. And actually, I think at the end of the game turn, you check.
So it's not that the
And
End of the scenario. It's at the end of the
you
game
don't
turn.
have to
Yeah.
wait to the end of the scenario. So really, it was correct what we did. We got to the end of the turn, we checked, and there was an American victory based on that.
Right.
And like I said, it was only going to get worse in all likelihood. Um, so I mean, it was interesting. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that it's kind of an investment because you got to figure out how the heck the rules work,
Right.
and it's kind of a one-shot pony
Right.
because that one X is so central to the attack plans that there's only so much that the Americans could possibly do. It is possible to scale the walls in some places, but the method for it is pretty difficult. The walls have a defense strength of 2.
Okay.
Well, of course, the most you could get it applied to it is 4, right? 2 strength points,
Yeah.
2 stacks of 2 strength points. So 2 to 1. But the wall has got an effectiveness rating of 20 and basically can't become disordered or shaken. Um, and and the wall's got a +4 CV, and so it turns out that the only way to win is to roll a special result in the combat and then get the wall to fail its morale check as
Morale
a
check.
result of the special. And that's really, and so the truth is just the odds of winning are really bad.
Well,
You
yeah.
only get 1 round of combat, so it's very possible that it becomes inconclusive on a given turn.
Right.
But remember, when you route, you're gone.
Oh, you're just
So
removed from the map. Yeah.
Yeah, and you may or may not rally, and so it is. It's like it's a pretty low possibility of making it over the walls.
Right.
You can get points for opening a gate. So if you can get over the walls and then can move to a gate, you can spend a movement point, open the gate, and then any American troops can come through.
Right.
Obviously, that would be the kind of the ideal scenario, but it seems like you wouldn't want to put all your
Eggs in one
that
basket.
one
Yeah.
basket, right? So anyway, so I don't know. I definitely would like to play it again with a little better understanding of how it plays. So I would set up those French militia outside a little bit better. They are French militia. They're the
Right.
Francophone militia, but they're, serving the British in this case.
Right.
And, but I don't know how many more times I'd want to play it after that. It's like, okay, it was weird. It was interesting. There's a scenario 7, though. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's
they
also
haven't
American
published it yet,
Revolution.
or
No, I haven't read it, so I don't really know, but it's called the 14th State is the name, or the 14th colony, maybe, is the name of the scenario. And I'm guessing it's the same battle, but probably a kind of a what if.
right, like the Americans took it, and then the British are trying to retake it, maybe.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, but anyway, we did 6, and it was fun. It was interesting. It was relatively quick. There aren't that many units. The hard part was just getting your head wrapped around it. But once you started, it went pretty fast. And anyway, so that's fun.
Cool.
What the heck, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been play testing the Sound of Drums folks are coming out with a Quatre Bras game here. They've got the Kickstarter is out. So I've been they've got a Vassal one up, and so I've been play testing that with another fella.
Okay.
And so they've made adjustments with the rules, and they've got some other stuff that's special for that particular battle. So that's been kind of fun to poke around with that. So I've gotten pretty comfortable with that rule set now. Only occasionally making mistakes. So it's pretty much what we call situation normal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Pretty standard there. All right.
Yep. So
very good.
yeah. So that's what I've been up to. Other than that, and then Jim Soto comes over, and they're planning on putting out a couple of small battles for Egmul. So they They've
Oh, right.
published Lobotide to Egg Mole, and they shipped that out in October. They still have a bunch of games, in inventory. But one of the things that they were offering, that they were going to try to offer, this is the first time, would be a chance for people, if you've got that game, you could then download from their website for a nominal fee the PDF for the map and the PDF for the scenario rules. And so they're planning on doing, I think, 2, maybe 3 battles that take place either a few days before or a few days after Egg Mole. So that way then you'd have
Interesting.
more little scenarios that you can mess around with.
That you could do with
Yep.
the same thing
Yep.
you've already
So you got
bought.
the same counters. You've already got the counters. So then you just get the map printed and print out the scenario rules, or have them on your PDF. And then you've got another battle you can play, or another scenario you can play. So
Good.
yeah. So I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So they're going to see how that goes, and if it's successful, then they will maybe do that for future publications, or have some other smaller things. Part of their challenge is they've already printed, they've already done so many of the big battles. There's not a whole lot
Right.
left that hasn't
Yeah,
already been
absolutely.
treated in some way, shape, or form. So
That is a trick.
yeah, that's always the challenge. So, all right. Well, I think that takes care of it. I'm going to pull the plug on the live stream, and
All
we'll
right.
say farewell to everybody out there in YouTube land.